Okay, so this is question 4, the pseudo code. Okay, did you create a type? We didn't create a composite type. Okay. Okay, I understand what you have done. It's a good try, but let me share with you then what should it be the correct answer for question 4. So let me share with you my screen. So let me know once you can see my screen.
Yeah.
So this is the correct try for answering the question number 4. So we should create a composite type. A composite type is a type that consists of other standard variable types. Standard variable types that we have is like a string, date, integer, currency. All this is a standard types that is we have it in Python, we have it in pseudocode, everywhere. So that's the standard types. The composite type is a type that have standard types inside it. That's why we say it's a composite type. We can decide whatever variables we want to declare inside, we can use them. Okay, as long as they are a standard one, like this. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we created a type that is called car record. Okay, and after we created that type, we define the type, and then we start to declare here. Actually, that should be declared. Okay, so we start to declare here my car variable from what? From the car composite type that we created. It's called car record in that case. Okay, so what we wanted to get that one you have done properly. I think there is no issue in that. You already know how to do it. So you output a message and then you expect an input from the user. So as you can see here, we have a vehicle ID, registration, date of registration, engine size, purchase price. So I just make here just 2 examples, and then the rest should be the same. So I output a message, I take an input which is an ID, and then it's okay. Let me clear that. So okay, what we said that we needed to create a procedure, and that procedure should actually assign the variable that you get from the user to the record that we created, or to the composite type record that we created. What is the composite type record? It is my car. So what is inside my car? There is a registration ID. What else we have? Let me see. Vehicle ID, and we have registration. Okay. So we have other things, but I mean, I'm trying just to give you the concept here. So I got the ID, and it is stored in the variable code ID, and I got registration from the user, and it is whatever the user input is stored inside the registration. I created a procedure. The procedure take the record that I created by reference, and I also give it the new registration. Okay. So whatever inside here, I will assign it to the composite type. Actually, I make also a slight mistake here, and that should not be. So that should not be the vehicle ID. It should be the registration. Registration. So I take the registration that the user input, and I put it, I save it inside the type. So can you tell me, why do you think we use here by reference instead of by value? And why here we use by value? So let me just tell you first. So do you see the call that we have done here?
Yeah.
This call is actually, so when you define a procedure, it will not execute. You have to call it. So when you call it, only then it will be function. It will start to really assign the variables inside the record. So here we passed my car, okay, which is the one that I declared here as a variable of type, the composite type car record, and I pass the registration that the user input here. Okay, this one by value, that one by reference. So let me, I think you cannot recall back. Am I right? Do you want a refreshment?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. Can you recall back so we can know where we are standing? Can you recall back what is the difference between a procedure and a function?
Procedure set of instruction to run.
Okay. What about the return type? So compare, I want you to tell me the difference between the procedure and a function in terms of the return of the function. So normally a procedure and a function do some instruction inside, and then there should be an output from that instruction or a result from that instruction. One of them returns something, one does not return anything. Which one return, which one does not return?
Procedure returns.
No, the function only is the one that returns. The procedure does not return. If it returns, you should have seen something here. If it returns, I will write to return integer or return boolean or whatever. So when I don't want to use function, and I want to use something that was defined outside the procedure, then I need to pass it by reference. Passing by reference means that I pass here. Okay, let me try to share with you something. Maybe this can stick in your memory. Actually, I already created something from long time, but maybe we didn't have a chance to look at it. Yeah, okay, this by reference. Let me see. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
So normally the brains got things stick when they see an image. I wish that this stick with you forever. So when you pass things by reference, this is how it looks like. When you pass it by value, that's how it looks like. So if you see here, actually so we have a variable that's called cup, okay, and we are passing it by reference here. So actually, why he is putting it in this way? So I want you to look at how both cups looks like here and here. Tell me what can you see?
The pass by reference is exact duplicate.
Is exact duplicate, yes, because once we are filling the past parameter, it fills in the original one. So the original variable got affected by whatever we do inside the fill cup function or procedure. Okay. But when we pass it by value, we actually take a copy from that cup, and that copy is different from the parameter that we pass. It's just a copy of it. Okay. Whatever we do with that parameter does not affect the original one. Is that clear? So that's the difference between by reference and by value. Hopefully this stick always in your memory. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So, okay, I want to add something here since we already opened that image. All the types that is not So pseudocode, you have to write by reference or by value. But in Python, there is something that is done automatically for you. When you pass an array to a function as a parameter, it is passed by reference automatically. So you don't need to write by reference. Okay. But if you just pass a variable, a normal variable like a string, integer, or even a character, it is passed by value automatically. This is in Python. Okay. But in pseudocode, we have to tell. We want to tell this is by reference or by value. Is that clear to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so we go back to what we was explaining. Okay, now you see my screen. So again, a composite type, I didn't wish, and it doesn't make any sense that I take a copy from the composite type, this my car. It doesn't make any sense to me. I wanted to change, to fill in the original record that I created. So I pass it by reference, okay? But this input from the user is actually not important. I just use it one time and it's not needed anymore, okay? So that's why I take it by value. And that input from the user, I use it to assign the registration here inside the record, this one.
Okay.
Okay, is that clear to you? Is any confusion here?
No.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so now you know that how can you call a procedure that you already defined. So that's the definition of the procedure, and that is how you call it. Is that clear to you? Can move to the next? Okay. Okay, can you recall back what was the question number 4 for the pseudo code? Or we go back and read it? What do you think?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, tell me.
Question 5, you mean?
Yes, question 5. Yes. What did we need to do actually?
We asked the user to input a password, and then to that it contains at least a capital letter, lowercase letter, and 2 numbers or 3 numbers, and then
Okay.
also the case to get the grades to show whether the user put in a grade A, B, or C's password.
Okay. Okay. So we have 3 conditions that must be met with a password. Okay. So first, normally, I want to think with you. If I see a question, how I personally think. So normally, I will not create the variables first. I will not create them. Okay. I will think first. What is the first thing that I need to do? I need to get a password from the user. Okay. So the password need to be stored somewhere. So it means that I need to declare apply something to store the password. So I declared a string called pass that I can store the password, the input from the user in. And then before I need to ask the user to input something, I need to give him a message. So I need it all. So that's, you see, I started first with the first, I needed to catch some, how to say, the rope where I can pull step by step. First, I take the input. Second, I declare the necessary variable that I need to do. And then I need to output something to the user so he understand what he need to do. Okay. So we said just as simple. We need a password with 1 capital letter, 1 small letter, and I said here 1 number, but it's 2 numbers. Okay. So okay, now the user have already input a password. So what is the first thing that we check? We need to check that the password have a capital letter. Okay. So can we remember from the last class, we took some functions that we can use that can check something related to lowercase and uppercase characters. Can you still remember the ASCII table that we showed?
Yeah.
So the ASCII table, in the ASCII table, every character have a number represented by a decimal number. So we know from A to Z, they have a certain range. If I can recall back correctly, maybe we are ending with 90 or something like that. I cannot recall 100%, but if you want us to open the ASCII code table, we can open it. You want?
Yeah.
Okay, we can open the ASCII code table. Why it doesn't come? Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
So let us try to remember back. That is a capital A, and the equivalent decimal number is 65, and that's the capital Z, and it ends up with a decimal number 90. Can you recall that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have one function that called ASCII. This ASCII, I pass it a character, and it can give me the equivalent decimal number. So as you see, we start with A, and it's all in sequence. So B will be 66, and Y will be 89, and Z will be, so they are, so it means that if I want to check that a certain character is between A and Z, I can easily compare the decimal value of the equivalent decimal value of that ASCII character. If it is between 65 and 90, this means that the character that I'm checking is actually capital case. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And if I want to check that there is a lowercase character, then I will do the same with a lowercase, characters here. So it means that anything between 97 and this equivalent decimal value between 97 and 122 will be a lowercase character. And okay, so should I close the ASCII table and we go back to the code? Joe?
Yeah. Yeah, I say yeah.
Can we close and we open the code again, or you are having a question here in the ASCII code?
No, can.
Okay. So one more thing before I leave you here. Actually, let me see. So the same goes here. You see here we also have the same representation for numbers from 0 to 9. Also have equivalent. So that's the ASCII table. You can check a character, a character in a string, if it is a number or whatever it is, by checking its equivalent number here. So if you pass 0 to the ASCII ASC function, it will give you the equivalent 48. Or if it is 9, it will give you the equivalent 57. So by comparing, if you have a value between 48 and 57, this means that you are able to know that this is a number, or even this is a capital case character, or even a lowercase character. So this is the secret of the question. Actually, this is the trick. This is the only way you can know. Okay. Fine. Good. So we go back to the code here. So see, now we said that we have this ASCII function. I pass it a character and it gives me the equivalent decimal number of it. So I get the one for A capital and Z capital, and I get the one for A small and Z small, and I store them in a variables. So it means that I need to go and create 4 variables of type integers that should store integers. One for the capital A, one for capital Z, one for small a, one for small z. Why? Because that numbers, if my character, okay, we see, let's say you enter A and maybe B small and Z small and 1 as a password. Okay, so this is a string. Okay, but A is actually a character, B is a character, Z is a character, also 1 is a number, but it is a character in the string. Okay, so the string is characters that is concatenated together. Okay, so again, I already know that if I get this character out, if I able to separate that character out of the string, the password string that I already passed, and I can check it, I'm able to check if it is lowercase or uppercase. I'm able to do that. Okay, does this make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, have a look here, please. So actually, that is the level of exam questions. Actually, I mean, it's not 100% the exam question, but I have seen in one of the exam a question similar to that. Okay, so that is the level of the thing that we want to achieve. I understand that it's slightly tough, but if we don't practice from now, then definitely after 2 months we will not be there. If we start from now and even we face difficulty and we cannot achieve it from the first time, that's fine. But it means that we know where we are and we know where we want to reach. Okay, so now let's have a look. I created only one function. This function will check the first condition. What is the first condition? Check that the character, one of the password characters is capital. So I created a function called got capital. I passed the password. It doesn't matter. I can pass it by value or even by reference. It's fine, but I pass it by value. Okay, because I don't want to make any changes to the password here. It can happen by mistake, but I don't want to do that. Okay, so I pass it the password, and since I'm checking if it is capital or not, so I pass I passing it the integer value of capital A and integer value of capital Z. Okay, and then so it means I need to loop through every character in the string password. This is a password. I want to loop through everything, and I want to check if this if one of them is capital or not. So how to do that? Do you still remember for loops?
Yeah.
Okay. So before we talk again, let me think with you. Before we talk about defining any variables here in the function, I start with the first thing that I would like to do. I would like to go through every. Sorry, I deleted the password. Okay, that's the password. I want to loop through every character here inside this password. Consider this is my real password that I entered. Okay, so I want to make a for loop. I want to go through every one of those and check it. And based of that, I start defining my declaring my variables and doing the other parts. So first, we want to go from A until we reach 1. Okay, so this means that we need to know the length of the string that is passed to us. So there is a function that we took, it's called length, but in Python it's called len, L-E-N. So it is length in pseudocode and len in Python. Fine to you? Is that clear? Okay, so I will pass it the password and it will get the length. and then I will start looping here from 1 until the length. Joy, are you fine? Are you following with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so it means that when I loop like that, I will start looping from index 1, because as we know from the pseudocode, characters start from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. But in Python, it starts from 0. Just don't confuse. Okay, perfect. So there is a function that also we already took. That function is called mid. So mid, you will give it a string, you will give it a start place, and the length, you give it a length of how many characters you want to take out from which position. So if you start from the position 1 here, and you tell him I want 1 character, so it will get you A. Okay, but there is another, I mean, it is possible that you can use a mid function, okay, but also there is a way, if I am able to say, let me write it here in a proper text. So I'm able to actually write password, and I said I am able to write it like that also. Instead of writing this way, I just can totally remove this mid, and then I write password I, and it will get me whatever character I pass. So if I start with 1, so the first time it will run, it will get the character A, and it will assign this character A to ch. I make a variable called ch. So I need to define that variable first. I define it as a character. Okay, and also because I get the length, I storing the length of the string inside it. So I also define that as an integer also. Okay. Okay. So after we get, okay, now actually the correct way, as I said, okay, so instead of that, we are able to say sh. So I'm able to, so either you use that or this. It's totally up to you. Okay. Now I want you to tell me now. Tell me what I'm doing on the second line here.
If it's between, if the character is between capital.
This. What does this line mean? Okay, what the ASCII function do? So the ASCII function, as you see here, it take a string, it take a character, and it go to the ASCII table, and it tell us what is the decimal representation of that character on the ASCII table.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what it's going to do. So I want to ask you, this ch is what? So we have to close the session here and we enter again. Okay.